Okay, so this problem we did towards the end of class today, and I had a little bit of a hiccup, got a little stressed about the lack of time we had left, and just did -2 plus 3 is -1, and it messed up the whole problem. Um, so I'm going to do it again here, and I'm going to do it correctly from start to finish. Again, I'm going to do the same method we were doing in class, so you can see the way it was supposed to be finished in class. But you can also eliminate, B first or A first, or you can do a different way to eliminate C. But we chose in class to eliminate C first because we have negatives here and the least common multiples are easier to find. So the first thing we're going to do, the first one is if we multiply the first equation by 2 and add it to the second equation, we'll get the zero pair of -6c and 6c. So I'm going to take the first equation and multiply it by 2. That's going to give me -6a minus 2b minus 6c equals -16. Okay, then the second equation is just not changing it. -5a plus 3b plus 6c equals -4. Okay, and then from there, I'm just going to add them, right? Add them straight down. So when I do that, when I do this addition, -6a minus 5 or plus -5a is going to be -11a. -2b plus 3b is going to be positive b. That was my fatal flaw in when I did it in class. -6c plus 6c. It's a zero pair. It's going to cancel. And then -16 plus -4 is -20. Okay, so that's our new equation. I'm going to call this equation 4. Okay, just for reference later. Now I need to eliminate C again because the whole point is we want to take this system of 3 equations and 3 unknowns and turn it into a system of 2 equations and 2 unknowns. So right now we have a single equation with 2 unknowns, A and B. So I need to eliminate C a second time. And you have 2 kind of options here for what you can do. The first one is that you could do, we're going to stick with 1 because it already has a negative. So you could do 1 and then multiply the bottom one, number 3, equation 3 by 3, because that would give you a zero pair of 3c and c. You could also take equation 2 again and multiply the bottom equation by -6 or multiply by 6 and subtract them so that you have a zero pair of 6c and -c. The only thing you can't do is you can't do 1 and 2 again because we already eliminated with those. Okay, so it's not like you couldn't do 1/2 times 2 plus 1 because you've already eliminated with 1 and 2. You'll end up with the same equation. Okay, so I'm gonna I want to do 1 plus 3 times 3. I think this is the one we did in class. I could be wrong. So I'll take 1, -3a minus b minus 3c equals -8. Then 3 times equation 3, 3 times -6, -18a, -12b plus 3c is going to equal -60. When I add straight down here, -3 minus 18 is -21a, -b minus 12b is going to be -13b. Our zero pair did what we wanted it to do and it canceled. And then -8 plus a -60 is -68. So we'll call that equation 5. Okay, so now I can create a new system of 2 equations, -11a plus b equals -20 and -21a minus 13b equals -68. So now we've taken an Algebra 2 level problem and done some Algebra 2 level skills to turn it into an Algebra 1 level problem, a system of 2 equations and 2 unknowns. You can solve this however you want. Personally, because we've got this b here all by its lonesome, it doesn't have a coefficient, I'm just going to solve for b, right? I'm going to take that equation. I've got negative 11a plus b equals negative 20. I will add 11a to both sides. So add 11a and I'll get b equals negative 20 plus 11a, or b equals 11a minus 20. Okay, now I can use substitution, right? There's a b in this equation, so I can take what I know that b is equal to and plug it into the other equation, and then I'll have one equation and one unknown. So I'm going to do that right here. We're going to do negative 21a minus 13. We're not going to put a b there. Instead of b, because we know b is equal to this, we're going to plug in 11a minus 20 equals negative 68. And then this I can just algebraically solve. This is just a linear equation, right? So we'll do negative 21a, negative 13 times positive 11, this is where we messed up, is negative 143a. 13 times 20 is, they're both negative, so it's going to make a positive 260 equals negative 68. To solve this, we'll combine like terms. 21 and 143 makes negative 164a. We will subtract 260 from both sides. 68 and 260 makes 328. Then we'll divide both sides by 164. 328 divided by negative 164 is 2. Negative 2, sorry. And now we have a. We have that a is negative 2. So I'm going to say, hello, here a is negative 2. Okay, we keep rolling. Now we just once you have one equation, it's like it falls in place. It's like dominoes, if you've ever lined up dominoes, right? Because now we can just work backwards. We don't actually have to do any more substitution, any more elimination. You could. I don't know why you would. Because look, we already know what b is equal to, right? b equals 11a minus 20. But now I know what a is. So b actually equals 11 times negative 2, not negative 20, negative 2 minus 20. So we have b equals negative, oh, hold on, hold the phone. I dropped my negative. So we're just going to duplicate this guy and move it over there. And then you'll just see the answer is 2. So we will plug in 2, which will give us 22 minus 20, which will give us that b also equals 2. That's why you got to be careful. Drop in negatives. Okay, so now I have a and b. I have 3 equations that have a, b, and c in them. I'm going to choose the first one because honestly it looks the least crazy. So let's move that down here and let's plug into it now, okay? So I know that a is 2 and b is 2, so I'll have negative 3 times 2 minus 2 minus 3c equals negative 8. Negative 6 minus 2 minus 3c equals negative 8. Negative 8 minus 3c equals negative 8. Add 8 to both sides, right? You get negative 3c equals 0. Divide both sides by negative 3, and you get that c equals 0. And that will be our last solution. Okay, you can always, I'm not going to for the sake of this video, but you could always plug in, you can plug in 2 here, 2 here, and 0 here, and you'll see that it's negative 20. 2 here, 2 here, and 0 here, and you'll see that it's negative 20. You don't have to do that, but it's a good way to check your work should you have time. So we'll have, our final answer is 2, 2, comma 0, and one more hiccup along the road, but this time I wasn't rushed for time, so I was able to spot it. All right,